Hello, hello, hello. Testing, 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 testing. Oh man, that took a minute to get set up. I had my computer over in like the editing station. And sometimes it just spazzes out when I plug it back into my TV to film. Today it did thusly. It spazzed. It's alright. I feel a little spazzy today too. Another Sunday, another work tomorrow day, but for right now, we're playing Minecraft, and as you can see, there are my horsies. And some things have happened. We're going to do a quick tour, and then I have a plan for the day. There's a cow in there, and I'm going to request that you guys don't ask about the origins of the cow. As you know, I have taken... Whatever, stay there. Just wanted to get rid of that. I have a policy against cow murder here on my Minecraft world, and that remains our policy. That remains our policy. So if that cow became an orphan off screen, you know, sometimes these things just happen. That's all I can say about it. What do we got here? Okay, I have the trappings of my plan here, but we've got to get organized first. So let's see what we got. I don't want or need any of this. I want to put my fishing rod away, but that doesn't go in there. I've done so much in such a short period of time that I'm confusing myself. Let's take these. Let's put this back. Let's put this paper away. We've got our map that we want. Let me just run this fishing rod back over here. I put my suit of armor here, and this is like my go-to stuff. Like, this is probably my best fishing rod. I think that's easy to see. And we've got an enchanted axe. I've got my enchanted sword. That's nothing right now. I've got my enchanted iron pickaxe, and I've got my bow. So this is all the stuff that, like, I might equip on my way off to have an adventure, which is what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. We're going to have one last adventure for part 1. I don't really need the shovel, but I'm going to bring it anyway. Let's put this here. And I think that's all the equipment we're going to need. I'm going to need a compass, so let's make a compass. We're going back to our roots with this one because I suspect that this is going to be our last part 1. Like, this is the end of part 1, I think. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. If I can figure out where my compass is in order to make it. It's probably not in this one, right? No. Here it is. Okay. So... Right, okay. Let's just make sure all our doors are secured. I have some kind of armor on. It's fine. I have a shield. We're not going into the caves or anything today. I did set up this map room, and I think it looks pretty cool. As you might remember, I lost my starter map so many times that I got so sick of filling it in that it's just sort of blank now. But it's really cool to see sort of how all these continents are pieced together, or starting to see it. This was our last map that we explored before we settled on our current location, which I can see. Let's get closer. There we are, right? We wanted to do one last sweep before we settled in on our current home. This is where our island is, and we did explore in the cardinal directions, north, west, and east. We're going here, and I'll tell you why. There's 2 reasons. We're going to serve 2 purposes. As you can see, there's some desert over this way. I believe we may have lost a bunny at some point in one of the earlier episodes due to falling down a gigantic waterfall, and it really upset me. So we're going to go back there. That's where we're gonna head. We're gonna go all the way across over here to the east, and we're gonna create a map for the southeast. It doesn't have to be complete, but the reason we're going over there is because I need cactuses, because I need green dye. And the reason I need green dye is I want to make a greenhouse, like a literal green colored house, not like a greenhouse for plants, a greenhouse to go in the village. And I read on the internet that smelting green dye is one of the easiest ways to get levels, like quick levels. So as you can see, we're at level 23. I've been doing quite a bit of fishing. Just as you know, I enjoy it. Just for funsies. But we've managed to get our levels pretty high, and I want to get us to 30 and above so we can enchant our armor, and then we'll have completed our 2 objectives for part 1. So I say let's get a move on. I am going to take this off of peaceful because I really, as nice as it is, especially when like I've been building and stuff, as nice as it is, I think there's got to be some stakes. Otherwise, this just kind of feels silly. Like if you're hanging around building, like for sure, be on peaceful mode. I'm certainly a proponent of that. But if you're actually trying to play the game, I think that you really kind of need to have the weakest possible enemies around you. So hopefully we can get back here, we can enchant this armor, and we will have a full set of diamond enchanted armor. And then we will have surpassed our wildest dreams, honestly, or my wildest dreams when I began this whole silly thing, and might be slightly better than a completely terrible player once I have my full set of enchanted diamond armor. My boats, oh yeah, my boats are down at the dock. I don't know if I showed you the dock yet, but let's just make sure everything's okay around here since we do have bad guys on. The doors are shut. Right, the front door shut. Yes. The horses will be fine. We'll take a quick peek over here. Not too much has changed. I might have shown you guys this bridge. It's not done. It needs something. And I think what it might need is like an underlying support to make it make sense. So that's something to think about later. But we did redo most of this village, and I'm really pretty happy with it. Obviously, there's always something else to do, some other build to think about, and like I said, I do want green dye to make a greenhouse. But this is what I have been doing pretty much this week, and that is just making this a lot more accessible. All the way down. It's nothing fancy. I just had all of these wooden steps from tearing down the villager houses to our little dock, our little receiving area. And I'm going to take one of these with me, and I don't think it needs to be... You know what? I wanted to bring my other maps. Let's go get the map. I knew I went up there for a reason. Oh man, where am I? I'm already tired, you guys, and this week hasn't even started yet. Oh, look how easy. Up and down. Let's go get the map and then let's get out of here. You know what, maybe we should also like wait for sunset and take a nap because this is already starting off on a bad foot. Alright, so we've got our south map. We're gonna go east. And I need that map to make sure that, you know, I'm not... When I open up what will be the southeast map... Oh, I already made it a locator map. Alright, I don't need a compass. I can put that away. I'll know when I'm over the border, is essentially what I'm saying. Let's just pop this in here for now. I can always trade that to my guy. Let's enjoy a sunset on our balcony. Wow. Everything the light touches is out to get me. But it's really pretty. Let's take a nap, then let's hit the road. All right. I don't know why the game is being so quiet. All right, which way do we go? Guess we could go down. That makes the most sense. It's such a long week this past week at work. Just like one of those weeks where like nothing really happened, but just everything felt tiring, like just tedious. And you're like, can this be over? And then I did go to see my parents for Father's Day. So I was there yesterday and got back maybe like 2:30 today. So I'm just trying to do what I can around the house. Got some laundry going, but it's always, even if you're only away for a day, sometimes it's a little, at least for me it is. It kind of throws off your game. You know, not that I have any complaints about going to see my parents, but there's only so much free time in a week, and it's, you know, I'm looking around and it's like there's just like crap everywhere. I'm doing a load of laundry, but that's probably it. You know, the dishes are need to be run, and like I don't know, you just get home to a bunch of chores and you're like, oh my God. I wanted to relax. But you know, what can you do? Oh, and also, I was having this conversation with my mom because apparently we were both under the mistaken impression that next week is the 4th of July. Next week is not the 4th of July. To anyone out there who is just as confused, there is a full entire week of June left. And then the week after that is also still June, but by the end of it, it's July, which makes me feel a little bit better in terms of, did I not bring a boat? Oh my God. You guys, I'm gonna make a boat. I don't even have my thing. Oh, all right. I'm cutting this out. I'm cutting this out. I'm cutting this out. God, I'm telling you, I'm just so wiped. And I might take a break. Maybe 4th of July week. I'll give myself a nice break from filming this. Not that it's like it's not like difficult, right? This isn't something I should need a break from. I'm literally just playing video games. It's not stressful. But now that I'm in this habit of filming and, you know, creating things, and there appear to be, you know, a few people who care to at least tune in to these if it gets put on their feed or whatever. So I'd like to keep up with it, but I also am not going to stress myself out over it more than I already do. You know, I do get a lot of cortisol spikes in the mines, but that's different. You know, that's different from giving myself work, and this is not work. This should not be work, and I'm not going to let it be work. So if that means rambling videos of me walking in circles that I edit quickly by cutting out all the nonsense and doing very little else. I can't believe I forgot to bring that boat with me. It does not bode well for my week to come. Here we go, guys. So stupid. And probably just boat to where we were. Let's just try that. Moving a little faster anyway. We didn't get very far. I haven't really been exploring either, but I haven't seen anything from the new update, the Chaos Cube. Although I suppose, like I said, I haven't gone looking either. So maybe we'll run into something today. Some of the new updated stuff. That would be cool. I assume that this got updated that like the Switch version got updated along with the regular version, but maybe not. I don't know. Guess we'll see. In the meantime, all I want is stuff to make green dye. Also, I intend to be quite careful when it comes to our safety. Because I have for sure died on this map before. Like 100%. And just by being like kind of careless, which I should not be because I'm just not that good at this. Eat a potato. No, I have so much cod. I should have brought the cod. That's okay. Trying to think if anything else really interesting has happened. But honestly, not really. I have court tomorrow. I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn. Which is worse than the ass crack of dawn, by the way. And that's annoying. I think that's why I'm like so bummed out. Like more like Sunday scaries than usual because I just don't want to wake up. Like if I just had an office day tomorrow and I could either like decide to work from home if I made a game time decision or head into my office, but you know, get there leisurely at a leisurely pace. I wouldn't feel too bad about tomorrow being Monday, but the fact that I have to get up and get my ass to the Bronx and it's supposed to rain tomorrow and it's just, I just know it's going to be annoying. It's going to be like the last thing I want to do at, I probably have to leave at 7:30 to make sure I'm where I need to be on time. And I just don't want to in a very visceral way. But similarly, not in a visceral way, but in a practical way, I don't have a choice because that's my job. It's what they pay me to do. So that's what I'll be doing. And you know, that's what it is. Oh, you know what? Some things did happen. So the Knicks parade happened and I did not go anywhere near it. It went right past my office downtown in the city and I did not go anywhere near it. And then it was so funny because, like, first of all, I don't really care about basketball. What's my move here? I know it was a really big deal for the city, but I don't care enough to subject myself to that level of chaos at this point in my life. And probably at any point in my life. Whoa, what a spooky looking place. We're definitely not going to go in there, but let's just admire how spooky it looks. Very scary. Let's continue. I've clearly been here before also because it's on my map, but I probably said those exact words in some other video, but that's okay. Yeah, so yay Knicks. Glad to hear that they won the what is called March Madness, even though it is, as we just determined, it is nearly July. But yay. They did it, and I'm happy for them. But I did not want to, you couldn't pay me to be at that parade. And then, so Friday afternoon, one of my coworkers was like, should we just like split a couple hours early to go watch the soccer game? And like my place of work is pretty chill. And especially on a Friday, summer Friday afternoon, you know, leaving at 3 to go watch an international event. No one's going to be like, why weren't you at your desk? Nobody cares. So I was like, yeah, obviously I want to leave on a beautiful day in the middle of the afternoon. So me and him went to, oh, look, a little village. Obviously, I've also been here before. Oh, by the way, we're also looking for like any kind of loot that we stumble upon. Like we're not going out of our way to loot things necessarily, but Hmm. Clay and terracotta. I have plenty of it right now, but good to know these guys are also making things out of clay and terracotta. Got some beets. Does anyone live here? Some more potatoes. Guess it's kind of better if nobody does because... Okay, a disaster happened here. What happened here? Why is it like this? Oh, this guy still lives here, but you've only got half a house, my guy. What happened to you? He looks traumatized. Let's go to sleep. Oh, that guy also lives here too. These two guys are still here. Clearly this blew up, but like... What? Okay, I guess I'm gonna go back to that other house. And just hang out. I do have bad guys turned on, right? Just go in here and see if any bad guys come to get me. Let's double check. Yeah, we're on easy. So, what was I talking about? Oh, soccer. Right, so I didn't realize that the United States had a soccer team. And it all makes sense. You know, obviously that probably should have been something that I put together on my own. But so I walked out of my office and there's a decent amount. I mean, it's New York, right? So there's like bars and restaurants everywhere. But down where my office is, there's like a decent amount of like a good strip of bars, like kind of all on the same street. And there's a couple outdoor places like right by there. And we walked outside and we were like, what is like there were tons of people, and one of the outdoor bars had like big TV set up, and there was just like way more people than I would have thought. And we're like, well, huh? And every single bar was packed, and like we had to walk all the way basically to like we were like under the bridge till we found a bar that was like had people in it, but it wasn't so packed you couldn't move. So we got a pretty good spot and watched the soccer game. And when I tell you I had absolutely no idea what was going on, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I did gather that the United States team beat Australia, which I don't even know how to feel about that. Like, there's also an Aussie bar down near my office, and I was just like, we gotta steer clear of that place because those guys are murderous, I'm sure, at this point, based on how this went for them. But there's a lot of USA chants happening, and I'm like, none of these people have ever watched a soccer game before. I will bet you $100. I'll bet you $100. These guys do not care about soccer. So on the one hand, it's kind of nice. Like, it was an event where like a lot of people got together for a reason that they normally wouldn't have, and everyone was like all patriotic or whatever. But also, these people, I know they don't care about soccer because I was there and I don't care about soccer. Like, maybe there's a fan or two in the crowd, but like, and I also understand completely, you guys, that the United States is an anomaly here. You know, I get it. I get that soccer is the biggest thing in most of the world, and that as a nation, the United States is being just like contrary for the sake of it almost, because they're like, oh, soccer? What do we have, a soccer team? I didn't know about that. And I genuinely didn't, though. I just thought that Europe and other places were coming here to play soccer for God knows why. I still haven't put together whose idea this was. I guess it was Trump's idea. But also, like, why are we doing it in New Jersey? The traffic's bad enough, people. Actually, it hasn't been too bad, though. I will say that. I was really feeling quite nervous about just like getting around and driving and the traffic and etc. But I really haven't been jammed up due to soccer related traffic. There were a few people when I was getting the path. I was getting the path Friday, I guess it was. people were going into the city, and it was just bizarre to me. Like, I didn't put it together that they were going into the city to watch soccer because the game is in New Jersey. Except it's the funniest thing, honestly. As someone originally from New Jersey and currently in New York, um, the fact that they're just like, they're calling it all one long thing is so funny. Like, New York, New Jersey Stadium, that's not a thing. It has never been called that. It has never been called that. That is not its name. No one will call it that again when this is over. But for whatever reason, it's just like, nobody wants to say this arena is in the state of New Jersey and not in New York. Like, apparently no one's allowed to say that. It is in New Jersey. It is in the Meadowlands, which is a swamp. It's a swamp. It's a swamp arena. It is a mob dumping ground swamp. And it is not New York at all. Like, the Jets and the Giants play there. Because they don't, I guess that's their best choice. I don't know how they worked all that out, but it's in New Jersey. And it is in a swamp. And it's literally like where Tony Soprano dumps the bodies, like, notoriously. Although I think they have cleaned it up. It's like federally protected wetlands. I'm sure there's alligators in there. You want to hear something that sounds like an urban legend, but it's definitely not, because it happened to me, and I'm going to tell you that it is 100% true because it absolutely happened to me. So when I was in college, the baseball team, these boys, I don't know how. I truly don't know how they pulled this off. I don't know what happened. But a lot of the guys all lived together in a house off campus, and that was pretty common for, like, there wasn't like a Greek row officially, like, university sanctioned, like, fraternity or sorority housing or sports housing, but it was pretty easy to get, 10 guys or 10 people together and just rent a house within a few miles of campus. It happened frequently. So these guys had a house nearby. And I used to party there a lot. And one day I rolled up for a party or whatever, and they had a freaking baby alligator. I still remember him. His name was Paul. And they just had him. He was just there. He was actually very cute. And I think they kept him mostly in the bathtub. But I'm telling you, like, this sounds like everybody's got a story about the alligator that got loose in the sewers. No, they let this alligator loose, I think, in the sewers. And I suspect Paul may be alive today in the Meadowlands. So if you are attending a soccer/European football match at New York, New Jersey Stadium, please don't try to walk there for all the reasons the internet has already talked about, but also because I'm pretty sure there's definitely alligators in there. I wonder if Paul's okay. What's the lifespan of an alligator? I saw this thing many times with my own two eyes. Like, it was real. They got really big, and they were like, we didn't think that this alligator would grow up because they were 18 to 22-year-old morons. And when it got too big for them to just, like, feed hamburgers to, they did something with them. They let him go somewhere. So, best of luck, Paul, if you're still out there. I'm cheering for you, buddy. And I don't know how we got on this topic, but I haven't thought about that in forever. But so yeah, soccer. So it was pretty cool, actually. The first time I ever paid any real attention to soccer. My coworker, who was like a sports kind of guy, also not an avid soccer fan, but he had more of a clue of what was going on than I did. Was trying to explain how they keep the time clock, and I couldn't grasp it. I had no clue. I just didn't know. Something I did remark upon, though, was that they showed an Austin Powers Verizon commercial, and it's just like, they got a lot of people back to be in this commercial, but why? Verizon is the dumbest commercials. My dad has retired from Verizon. At this point, he worked there for basically his entire career, starting in like 1980 or some shit like that when it was Bell Atlantic. But they have the worst commercials, and he was very he would almost proudly announce how bad the Verizon commercials were compared to like T-Mobile or whatever. And by the way, did you know that T-Mobile uses Verizon's like infrastructure and some deal that they've worked out? What's the best way across? Let's stop talking about whatever we were just talking about. I guess just down and up, right? It doesn't seem like there's a better way. All right. But anyway. So I'm just like, there must be people out there who are looking for a cell phone. And particularly, I would imagine like the type of demographic that like a sports game would appeal to. So like younger men. I'm sure there's plenty of ladies who also love soccer. But again, I'm assuming younger. Perhaps. I guess it's sort of an all ages event, especially if it's like what I was describing, where it's just like no one actually like is invested in soccer itself. It's just like an event, a thing to say I was there. But like who was like, you know what is gonna reach a wide audience and really encourage them to buy their cell phone and internet services from Verizon? An Austin Powers commercial, and Rob Lowe is in it, and he was the first one I saw, and I even said to my coworker, I'm like, do you think that's a hologram of Rob? Is that AI Rob Lowe, or did he really like get up and stop whatever he was doing to be in this Austin Powers commercial? And we came to the conclusion that it was really Rob Lowe, and it's like, Rob, okay, man. He certainly doesn't have to be doing this kind of thing, but I'm sure he was paid handsomely for what likely amounted to a few hours of work, and good for Rob Lowe. He deserves it. But it was just such a bizarre choice. Because who's this for? Just who's this for? Like when, oh, you want to know? Here's what I think happened. Because this is something that I talked about with my dad before. So like T-Mobile's been doing, what's it called? What's the freaking show? The hospital show. Shit. With JD and Turk. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was like a big show when I was growing up for like people my age-ish. Like there was definitely a young audience for this show. And I was never into it, but it was like a cultural thing. Like everybody knew what it was, except now I can't remember the name of it. But like, I think it was around Christmas they started doing the commercials with those two guys. And they were funny. And I remember saying to my dad, like, millennials are going to love this. Like, it's just the right note of nostalgia and humor. Where some millennial dad might be like, oh, those guys, I'll switch to T-Mobile. You know, like there's definitely an audience where someone's gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna look into T-Mobile because the commercial made them happy. And I think Verizon tried to do the same thing with this Austin Powers commercial. And like, don't get me wrong, those movies were very funny. And they were definitely, I think, almost the kickstart of the spoof genre of movies that came out in the early 2000s, like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like my brother was saying he went to go see the new Scary Movie. And he was like, it was fine. Like he was like, I wasn't mad that I went to see it. It wasn't like a waste of time. But he was also like, were those movies really funny or was I 12? And the answer is I don't know. Having not seen one since, you know, it's been a while. It's been 15 years probably, likely longer since I have sat down to watch Scary Movie or any of its sequels. Not another teen movie. That's funny. That's hysterically funny. A recommended watch by me. If you're into some actually fairly vulgar, but hysterically funny spoof on all of like the teen romance movies that were coming out at the time, or like the teen football movies. They did a really good amalgamation of like She's All That plus Cruel Intentions plus like Friday Night Lights plus I don't know, whatever. There's a ton of them. I could go on forever. What's another one? Oh, what's the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt? That was a good one. Anyway, there's a million of them. And that's a very funny spoof movie, in my humble opinion. And I think Austin Powers probably kicked it off with like the spoof on the James Bond kind of spy movies. And it took a pretty simple tack, right? It was like something we've probably all thought of at some point in our lives if you have any type of creative thinking. And I admit it's kind of something like I kind of thought these thoughts as a child, like what if I was back in colonial times, or like how would I explain like an airplane to Ben Franklin or some shit like that? You know what I mean? Like people have thought this for sure. And so the premise, of course, of Austin Powers is he gets frozen in like the late 60s and gets unfrozen in like the mid to late 90s. And so there's that element of humor that comes from him being like a fish out of water. And then it's a pretty funny movie in general. And like I said, I think that was the start of like all of these types of movies, because they didn't stop making those movies, guys. Like Scary Movie was pretty funny. And again, it was still newer. That idea of it was newer. So it wasn't like, oh my God, another one of these. And then Not Another Teen Movie was really, really funny. That's my favorite of these. But then they'd be like, every genre of film that you could think of, they made it into the most like dull and formulaic. Like they beat it to death. I can't even think of another genre that they did, but I know that they made like action movie, and it was just a spoof on action movies, which by the way, there's already tons of spoofs on action movies done in the 70s and 80s. Thinking of like Airplane and I guess Spaceball or like Star Wars isn't necessarily, I guess that counts as an action movie. But like Spaceballs, you're not funnier than Rick Moranis. Like you're not. I'm sorry, you're just not. But these types of spoof films were just like printing money for the studio, so they kept making them. And it got very boring. Anyway, my point is, I think that Verizon thought, oh, what's another thing from that era of like the mid to late 90s into like the early 2000s that are going to drive these millennials wild and make them like us? And somebody in there was like Austin Powers. And I guess everybody else thought it was a really good idea because they made the commercial. It's like, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It doesn't have the same... I don't remember why. I can't... Let me start that sentence over. I have no idea why the name of this actual show is escaping me, but I remember it clearly, and I didn't even watch it. Like, it was such a part of just like being a teenager or like an early 20-something in that time frame, that even if you weren't like, oh, that's my favorite show, or like, yeah, I watch it every Wednesday at 7 or whenever it was on, I'm just making that up, because that was also a thing. Like shows were on at a time and you had to be there to watch it, or you just like didn't get to see it. So that was sort of part of it, the idea, and it's almost like the soccer game, right? The idea that like, oh, that you're friends and you are all sitting down at Wednesday at 7 to watch, what is the freaking name of this TV show? I want those melons. I didn't really need to announce that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And the point being, it was on for so long too. that, you know what I'm gonna do? When we stop for the day, I'm gonna make the map too. That you just couldn't, it brought up memories for me watching like the T-Mobile commercials with these guys. And I, like I said, didn't even care about, like, I wasn't even like, I can't wait to talk about this with my friends at school. Did you see the new episode? Like, no, I didn't care about it that much. But the concept of it was enough to trigger some sort of nostalgia for that time of my life. And Austin Powers just doesn't do that for me. And I don't think it does it for anybody, really. And so I think it's just like this hilarious example of like some like someone in marketing frantically trying to come up with like the secret sauce that made the T-Mobile commercials successful. Just completely a misunderstanding. Do I not have paper? Oh, that's why I had that paper. Oh god. Well, you know what? I bet there's bamboo around here. But it's gonna have to wait till morning at this point. Oh, this is a doomed expedition, but at least we're getting some stuff. We'll hang out here for the night. I'm gonna take a break. I gotta look up the name of the show. When the sun comes up, I'll tell you the name of it. So hang tight, guys. Okay, guys. And I know I just said 1 second ago that I need bamboo for paper, but obviously I don't. I need sugarcane. So let's just keep going this way. We'll get there eventually. I'm grabbing all of this. Or some of it anyway. All right, so of course the show is called Scrubs. And something that I learned looking at the Wikipedia page for Scrubs just now is that they made a new season of it like this year, which I did not know about. But anyway, that's kind of beside the point. Oh, hi. I don't have any seats for you. It's a pretty cool looking place. No sugarcane, so we're just gonna keep walking. Oh, there's some. Let's go grab that and see how much paper we can make. I'm trying to think if anything else happened at the soccer match. Okay, we definitely obviously can't make that much paper out of that. So, onward we go. Any more sugarcane? I don't see any. Should we boat it? I wish I knew where we were. That's kind of the problem, right? So I didn't bring any freaking paper to make my map with. God, I'm so dumb. There's more sugarcane. Even if we can bump this out one, that would be helpful, I think. This map. So let's go this way. Do we see any more? There's more over there. I'm gonna get completely sidetracked looking for sugarcane because I'm too distracted to actually plan my adventure properly, but that's okay. It makes an adventure within an adventure. Okay, we can do something with all of this. Let's go this way first. Something I still don't quite understand is what I need to do to like get this girl right here to swim instead of just like bounce through the water. Sometimes she swims. I just don't know what button I'm pressing to make her do it. Let's go up top here. All right. Can I make paper without a thing? I think I need a crafting table. So, let's chop some trees. Cool. So I really just need one more. You know what? Do I just go get this? Yeah, I think I do. I need this more right now than I will at any hypothetical time in the future. Right? Yeah. So... perfect. Now I'm going to switch you out for this. And we're going to put our map here. And I'm going to do this until we can't anymore. Right, and I can do one more. That was not what I wanted to do here. It's okay though. Okay. So now, where are we? Guess we could just boat it, right? Because we need to be heading east. I'm confused. I don't know what happened here. But we're gonna keep going anyway. Right, we definitely came from that mushroom area. And it's gonna rain as soon as I have to go into this, like, jungle, dense jungle of terror. But that's where we have to go. So let's just do it. Right, so Friday was soccer. That was fun. A fun afternoon. And then Saturday, drove down to hang out with my parents. Picked up my brother. Talked to him, so that's always a nice drive. Nice to have a little chatty companion on the drive. He was all stressed about some jerk at his work. Some jerk at his work. Because he's technically, like, managing this jerk. Well, not technically, he is managing the jerk. But the guy has, like, a lot of weight to throw around, and he's, like, I don't know, all stressed about it. And it sucks, right? Because he's got to play politics a little bit with what he kind of can't do with this guy. But I guess it's also learning, it's part of learning how to manage people. I just feel bad that he seemed pretty stressed about it. I could see a zombie in there. I'm concentrating really hard right now, guys. I'm sorry. This is taking all of my efforts. Ugh. These fuckers, huh? Why can't I aim this bow? Oh, because I don't have any arrows. Because I didn't bring any arrows because I'm an idiot. Right, let's just kill this thing then. I really did not plan this well at all. Let me get in here for now. Maybe we can grab some arrows along the way if we catch any shooty guys out there in the meantime. Let's just move this out of the hotbar since it's useless. This goes here. Put this here for now. And my laundry's done and it's nighttime, so we're gonna take another break. Be right back. Oh, sorry guys, we're back. I didn't realize my mic wasn't on. Just keep moving here, moving through the landscape. It's good to know there's a jungle right here too, though. That horse looks traumatized. That horse looks like it's seen some stuff. Like, its eyes just looked so crazy for a minute. Water's always nicer to travel on, in my humble opinion. A little faster anyway, especially compared to like a dense jungle. And now we're in some kind of savanna. So I think we're getting quite close to my vision of where we're going to end up on today's adventure. A village would be cool. And we do need to turn at some point, but it seems like this is... Oh, look, a village! Wow! I just manifested that thing. This looks like a pretty dope village. And the rain stopped. Whoa. Whoa. Let's just leave this here for now. Let's see what these guys have. What's going on with you? Emeralds. I will take it. I just don't need those anyway. Let's be so for real. Oops. As usual, everyone's a farmer. I don't understand why it spawns that way. I don't really need either of these things. I guess there's always room for another bundle, but I'm just gonna leave it here. Don't really need it. And I think we can make them, right? We can craft them? I'm sure you can. It'd be cool if we could sleep here for the night too. Oh, and look, a portal up there. That's dope. I don't need any more leather. Leather outfits. Let's go check this thing out. Lots of obsidian. I'll take a couple lodestones too. Let's clean this up. That looks good. What a nice little village. Like, that's so cute. What are these guys doing up here? There's always at least one house that's just in a waterfall, which I don't understand. I can't get in. Oh, yes. It's like, where is my bundle? It's down here. I love when there's just like feral cats everywhere. That's my favorite too. Nothing worth looking at. Hey, sir. You a fisher guy? That's cool. I don't need a bucket of cod right now, but thanks anyway. Thanks for having another job that's not farmer. Keep things interesting. This is just the cutest little town here. I'm a fan. Whee! I think I need this. What is this? Why won't it let me interact with it? That's what I want to know. Well, let me just... You know what? I'm sure I don't need this because I have a fletcher, right? That's a fletching table? Yeah, I don't need that. could smelt some of this. Nah. So if I'm taking the raw stuff, if I find more iron, then it's going to be raw and not smelted. So there's less inventory. And this guy is also the same. What I'm trying to say is it would take less inventory slots if I happen to find more iron that I want to grab. I see a drown over there, so we're just going to try to avoid him by going this way. Looks like there's more houses even up there. We've got time to kill, honestly, because I do intend to sleep here tonight. And we're all on the map here. That's good. This is a good place for a village. They just need better city planning, obviously. Like, why am I always putting stairs into these villages, you know? Like, no one understands the concept of a stair. It's gravel. A lovely horse, but you're not my Sebastian, so I don't like you that much. Hopefully I can jump into that bed. That would be dope. A llama, hello. I have some llamas at my house. Oh yeah, we've got to free them. What, another blast furnace guy? Oh, this is a cool... Is this like a deity of some kind? Like, is it like an effigy is what I mean? Like a statue to memorialize some kind of god? Or is this just what they do out here in the savannah? And it ain't that deep. I'm gonna go with it ain't that deep. These people don't seem that smart. I do love their outfits, though. They'll come in handy. Oh yeah, these guys are gonna scurry home. Where are we on the map? Let's double check here. Alright, we got a little ways to go. Let's continue. Thanks for the emeralds. Bye. Oh wait, can I not get through? You wanna know what I'm gonna do? No, not that, this. Whee! This is pretty cool looking. Let's definitely not go in there though. It's not that kind of adventure. I wonder what's gonna happen next. We're getting towards the area on the map that have the desert. Right. Although I think it's got to be more north of here. Just thinking back to the map room. So if we can head like this way. Might as well see where the end of the river is a little more passable. Don't really want to go back into a jungle. A little baby kitty. I think this is about the point where we head north. You guys. There's a lot of bamboo, and I would love to chop some down real quick, and I think I will. I got tons of room. Okay, let's go chop some bamboo. Just because we're running low on sticks. I think this will be helpful. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but that's all right. Oh, that's tons. That's way more than I thought I was going to walk away with. So now, pretty much this way, I think is the way to go. So one last sports. I had a very sporty week now that I'm thinking back about the week that has just gone by. Because we had the Knicks, we watched soccer, and then Saturday, the Phillies versus the Mets at Citizens Bank Park, which you may recall. Oh, perfect. Here we go. The desert. Something that I usually do when I am with my parents, you know, during the baseball season is we usually watch the Phillies. And we watched the Phillies, and oh boy, so it's kind of it's tough for me when they play the Mets because I am a Philadelphia sports fan by birth. However, when I'm in New York, which is most of the time, and I like watching baseball and I want a team to cheer for, I have picked the Mets. Because of course I'm not going to pick the Yankees. Like, why? Ugh. So, you know, I love an underdog too. Which the Mets certainly are. And the Phillies have like not been, they've been pretty good, you know, but like, I love this biome, by the way. Like, how pretty, how nice. It's definitely not enough, but we can grow more cactus from that. Let's keep exploring. So, I will say, when it's Phillies versus Mets, I'm a Phillies fan. I can't help it. And I'm just so much more familiar with the team. And like the guys on the team. that it's easier to cheer for them. But in many other hi, little guys, don't be scared. In many other circumstances, in any other circumstances where the Phillies are not involved, I am a Mets fan. And oh boy, did the Mets get creamed by the Phillies, who again have not been like, they've been good, but they haven't been like that good. 15-3. 15-3. And everyone, even the guys where you're like, oh my god, like JT hit 2 doubles, I think, brought in 4 runs, maybe 3, 4, 5 runs, something like that. And he never hits the ball. He can never hit the ball. He never gets on base. And this man just like turned the tides. And you know what I do think did it? I said this to my dad earlier today. And then I think it was the bottom of the 2nd inning. Wagaman on the Mets had a catch, or he thought he had a catch to get out. I forget who. And they overturned the ruling on the field and found that he did not catch it because they said the ball hit the ground first. And so the inning continued. And I think that there's a universe out there where the Mets won this game because that ruling was not overturned and he makes the catch. That's a cool little oasis down there. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that just like that first ruling just completely set the tone for the whole game, and the Mets just couldn't play baseball for the whole night. It was ridiculous. Schwarber hit 3 home runs. Trey Turner hit like a perfect hit into left field and brought in some runs. Like, I think Marsh hit a home run. Like, these guys were they were playing really fun baseball to watch, except it sort of stops being fun after a minute. When it's like, all right, you don't have to beat them up anymore. They surrender. Of course, they have to keep playing until the end of the game, but I wish the Mets had done a little better, honestly. But yeah, it was it was fun to watch as a Phillies fan, but boy oh boy. Where can we hunker down for the evening? That looks like a pit of despair. Or we are gonna have to pick somewhere like pretty soon. Let's just go down here. I forgot sand does this. That's annoying. Okay, so we can see the sky when we go out there. We can put a torch here. I can organize my inventory. Obviously, this is not going to be enough cactus for what I want, but I can plant this, like I said, and then I should have enough, you know, once we can harvest it. I'm looking around at my plants. Speaking of plants, here on my living room. And they all look real thirsty, so that's something I'm gonna have to take care of soon too. So let me go do that and then check back in when the sun comes up. Because I think we're ready to start looping back, honestly. And that's what we'll do. See you in a minute. Alright guys, we're back. And was that guy alive? It's like a zombie camel rider? Oh, look, there was a village right there the whole time. Are they doubled up? Are they in love? Are they in love? Aw. I still don't understand why they haven't burned to death, but let's just not think about that for right now. I love these little buns. You're so cute. Hello. Bye. Let's see what's going on over here. Where are we? Kind of don't feel like exploring this whole village right now, but we should at least check it out a little, right? It's not okay. Well, that was worth it. Don't mind if I do. I think this might be my favorite kind of village just based on how detailed the builds are, if that makes sense. Like, there's a little life in here compared to the definitely the Plains village. The Acacia village has a little more interest. But these I think are the nicest in terms of just like interesting things to look at. You know, like a little more thought went into this place, it seems. Can I put into... Alright, wait, there's still room in that bundle too. Now I have a 1 arrow if needed for 1 lucky shot. And green dye. I'll take it. Oh, this baby, hello. I don't think we need to like loot the whole place. I just kind of want to get an idea. That is something. Alright, see ya. Oh, he's the butcher, that's what he is. You're the leather worker, I don't need to have any need for you. That's for sure. Just skip these for now. Anything else cool in here? It's a big village. Alright, guys. We definitely got what we came for. And I think it's time to head home, so it looks like the best way to go is that way. Can leave some stuff here for finding the next time we stumble upon this village. Get a job. All your friends have such cooler outfits than you. Like, that's a big reason to become employed, if you ask me. Grab a couple more of these and then let's go home. It'd be nice if we could like just take the river the whole way home, but I don't think it's gonna work out for us that way. Well, maybe. Let's keep trying. Let's keep looking. We did just take a nap not that long ago, so we should be okay. In that respect, anyway. Oh my god. Friends, lovers, I don't know, but you're cute. Oops. Okay. What was that? Oh, that little sheep just fell and the mom doesn't care. Hello, your kid fell in the water. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll be fine, right? I'm not even getting involved in this. I don't even know. Let's just pretend we didn't see anything. I'm pretty sure like one of the parents just died. And now the child is trapped, but like honestly, be a better parent. Cheap. You know, like that's all. That's my best advice. You've just got to try a little harder when it comes to your children not drowning. Oh, this landscape is pretty cool though. Definitely a place where we could come explore more. You know, down the road if we are feeling adventurous. And the way back is going much more quickly than the way there. That always happens though, doesn't it? It's something to do with, well, it doesn't really count for this because we're taking a different route, but in real life, it has something to do with the way that your brain creates memories. So going somewhere feels slower because, like, assuming it's someplace you've never been before, your brain is like registering everything for the first time. And then if you take the same path back, your brain is already familiar with it and doesn't need to create memories from scratch. So it feels faster, even though you're going the same distance at presumably about the same speed. Let's park over here so we don't fall. I think we might have to rough it like one more night until we're back where we belong. I just heard the wildest noise and I couldn't tell if it was in this game or outside of my window. I think it was outside my window. But I guess we'll find out when I go to edit this. Well, Snowcaps Mountain. We're almost back on the main map. Almost there. It's not really even the, I guess it is the main map now. But as predicted, I think we've got to dig out. This looks like as good a place as any. I keep forgetting my torches when I leave these places. All right, what else can we organize? We did really good for cactus and some green dye. Put this in here. I'm gonna keep my one arrow out, like just in case. And that's the moon up, so let's... Sorry, I got confused by nothing. I think one more... one more night in the panic room. And then we should be back. So hang tight. Here we go. All right, we're back on this map. Heading into this way direction. I have an itch. All right. Oh, hello. I'm just gonna leave you alone. Not talking to you either. Get away from me. Gotta pretty much just go the way we're going till we get to the water, and I think we can take the water back, it seems. And the water's right here. So convenient. Um, let's see how this works out. Okay, we got nowhere. We got 0 places. Stop. Oh gosh. Let's keep going. This might be better. Now we're going the wrong way. Okay, this is dumb. We're not doing this. We're gonna go up and over. Oh, so guess what too? I got another comment on one of my videos. The most recent one that went up this past weekend, yesterday actually. Which I think is so nice. I really do appreciate that. You know, I've said before that I'm not filming any of this for I don't expect this to be like a big deal to anybody, but it's kind of cool that someone sat and watched it and had fun because I'm having fun making it. So please feel free to comment if you like to. It really does really just put a smile on my face to think that this nonsense is at least entertaining for somebody out there who maybe needs a little lighthearted hour or two. We're going at a good clip here. I will say too, though, I can't talk. Oh my gosh. I supposed at the beginning of this episode that it might be the last in part 1, and I think we're going to have to do one more. Because we still don't have the levels that we need. We have this stuff to get the levels that we need. Whoa. Okay. Chill out, man. But I'm not going to enchant anything today. I'm just not like mentally prepared. And I have to go to sleep because I have to get up early. It's getting a little bit late. And I want to do, hi, oh my gosh. You're so cute. Oh my gosh, I love you. I love you. Do you love me back? No? Okay. Yeah, so I think there's going to be one more pretty chill episode that is most likely going to consist of smelting cactus and doing enchantments. So that sounds nice. That sounds like a nice, calm, like a midweek activity for me. And then maybe I'll take a little break, like I said. With 4th of July week, the odds that I'll be sitting on the couch playing this game are slim, so that's probably a good time to maybe take a week off, and then we'll start part 2. And I've got to come up with some objectives for part 2, you know, like the first half of this part 1 was just sort of me messing around and getting the hang of everything. So clearly we're past that, where I'm just messing around in the game and talking into the microphone about it, or about whatever. I think I've got that part pretty good. As good as it's going to be, you know? But I think it suits me, this style of just sort of playing and yapping. And apparently it suits a handful of other people out there in the world, which is pretty dope, I have to say. It's really pretty cool. So, stylistically, I think part 2 of this endeavor is going to feel the same as part 1, but I think we're going to have a few more objectives, specific objectives that are, I mean, I guess like exploring, you know, explore the 4 cardinal directions from the start map is an objective, and we did do that. And eventually we came up with sort of a more concrete checklist, which we've just about done. So I want something more concrete. I want set goals that, you know, having accomplished them, I could say to you, the internet people, that I am somewhat proficient at Minecraft. So I think the transition and the graduation here is going to be from noob to okay. Like, I'm okay at Minecraft. And so if I can get to, I think we can go this way. If I can get from just okay to proficient, I think that's the next level. But let's try to just get to just okay first. We have one more episode before we can formally declare that I am okay at Minecraft. So I'll have to think, you know, I know there's so many bad guys, like bosses essentially out there. And, you know, there's underwater things, you know, what are they called? Temples to explore. We have to go to the Pale Forest. What the frick is that called? Is it called the Pale Forest? Pale Garden? Whatever it's called, you know what I mean. We have to go there. The dragon, right, is the big one. And I think that might be the capstone on part 2. But I want to see how it goes first. Maybe just going to the Nether is going to be... Oh, I forgot about this. Look at... So I made some buoys. And it's because I was doing like chores or whatever, and I got lost going back to the island house. And so I'll take you one day, but if we go that way, you might be able to see the other one, the next one, in the distance. I did like maybe 4, and I dug this canal, I guess. Doesn't look that great, but we can get through it. So that's just to ease getting back and forth between the island house, which doesn't have that much there right now, just the llamas that we need to set free. which I think can be part of the next episode. Just some llamas and, you know, miscellaneous stuff. There's definitely stuff there that I'm going to want at some point. And it's also a good base of operations if we do wind up exploring further north, or hanging out in the Pale Forest or the Pale Garden, whatever it's called. I don't remember right now. You guys know what I mean. But, you know, definitely a place that is going to be useful to us in the future to have some basic supplies and a bed and a crafting table and all of that stuff. Even though we've since moved up in the world, moved into a Tuscan villa complete with a village and all kinds of stuff. A cow. Again, don't ask about his origin story because I'm not talking about it. But I did have to make those item frames somehow, you guys, so just let's just not talk about it anymore. We're just gonna stop talking now. And we're just about back. Here's our duck. Let's get upstairs before night comes, and then I think we can call it a day. Let's head up. It's so bouncy, I'm so sorry. Like, that's giving me a headache looking at it. So I can only imagine what it's doing to you, but we're back, guys. Just in time. And my girl's tired. She wants to go upstairs. She wants to go to bed. But before we do that, we have... This can go back here. Oh, and I think I put the new map in this bundle. Yeah, it's way at the bottom. Okay. Next time... Behind me, right? Right here. Is going to be... Hello. The map that we just made right in there. And I think it looks pretty cool. But that being said, it's nighttime. I'm tired in real life. My girl's tired in Minecraft. The sun is setting over our lovely base. And it's time to go to sleep. So on that note, that's what I'm going to do. And I'll talk to you guys later.